Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the St. Martin SN0033. This watch was sent to the channel for free by the St. Martin official store on AliExpress. I don't have to send the watch back, but you know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or the other. The retail price for this watch is $180 on the stainless steel bracelet, but you can also save about $30 and get it on a pretty decent leather strap. The watch currently comes in two different dial setups. You have the Flieger Type A that you see here, and then you've got a Type B dial, and that's it. Those are your only options. They do sell a very similar case and a bunch of other different dial colors and dial options, so I believe that's under the SN031 or 34, SN030 something. So go check out their website. But this is just the SN033G. This has the coin edge bezel on it. So this watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal, a screw down crown, a screw down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance. It comes on a stainless steel bracelet or an optional leather strap, and it's powered by the Epson YN55 automatic movement. So I've been wearing this thing for quite a bit recently, and it's been very, very good. Not many negatives at all on this thing. But before we get into the full review, let's do a quick wrist check. I'm wearing the Sea Stern, I believe they call us the Ocean Star. You guys know exactly what that is. So this one will be coming up on the channel pretty soon. So stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, let's do the dimensions. We've got a case diameter of about 38.5. Thickness is 11.9. A 20 millimeter lug width. The bracelet tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp, back up to 18.5 at the clasp itself, and a lug to lug of 47.9 millimeters, and it does have female end link, so it's going to wear just like that. And sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist, it weighs about 125 grams. So I think the overall size and the weight of this thing is really nice. It's kind of a sweet spot for these field watches, 125-ish grams and 38 millimeters with the big dial. I think it wears a little bit bigger than the 38 millimeter dive watch does because of that dial. But yeah, I think it wears really, really good. I'm very happy with the mid case and how thin it is and how sharp it is, and it just looks great. Yeah, so I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, I mean, it just wears great. It wears really, really good. Very happy with it. Turned down to the lugs is just perfect in my opinion, as you can see right there. I mean, for me, for my wrist, it just hugs it perfectly. It sits very low. So you got some nice light play off of the bezel. You got lots of reflections off the crystal, but I say this in all my reviews, it's really hard to photograph a watch like this. It doesn't look that bad in person, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, it looks really, really good. It's very comfortable, very, very light. Feels very balanced on wrist, and it just looks really good. I don't know what else to say. I'm very, very happy with the way this thing wears. And here we are in just a little bit more light. Unfortunately, there's no sun today. It's supposed to be a pretty stormy day today, but yeah, there you go. I think it looks pretty good. And I'm going to go throw it on some straps though, and we'll get back to the review. And here we are on a black rubber strap from Strapsco. I think it looks pretty good, and I mean, this watch is rated for 200 meters, so you could take this in the water for sure. And so if you do, maybe you want something like this. I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? All right, let's go throw it on some more straps. Here we are on a tan vario leather strap. Very nice strap. Looks awesome on this thing. And yeah, I've got no complaints. I really do like this combination. I think it looks really good. I got a few more though. And here we are on a black vintage leather. Leave the link down below for this. This is from AliExpress. That's a decent strap. Looks pretty good on this one. What do you guys think? Yeah, not too bad. And here we are on a green Perlon strap. I think that looks really, really good. There's one layer underneath the watch, and it still wears just great. This case wears so nice. Very happy with it. Love the way the strap looks on it. What do you guys think? Got one last strap to throw it on, and we'll get back to it. We are on a ribbed nylon strap. Got two layers underneath the watch there. Still wears really, really good. I've got no complaints with the way that this watch wears. Looks really good. The link for these straps will be down below. But let's go back inside and we'll get back to this review. Alright, so let's talk about the case finishing. So the case finishing is really nice on it. The case itself is very interesting actually. You got this really cool coin edge bezel here, as you can see there. So you've got the coin edge bezel, and then it kind of meets up with this little flat brushed surface there. It's a really nice touch, very, very subtle. It doesn't really look super subtle, but when you're just glancing at it, you don't really notice it very much, but it does look really good, and it is finished really, really well. Getting real nice and tight for you guys there. It looks really good. Very happy with the finishing on that. The case itself, like the mid case, is fully brushed. You can see you've got brushing on the tops of the lugs here. Really nice brushing. Horizontal brushing on the side of the case. And again, I mean, just really nice. The sheen on these watches that they're getting are super, super nice. You've got nice transition there from the tops and to the sides there, nice and crisp. Very happy with that. The crown on this thing is really, really cool. It's a big crown. That's a big crown. I'm going to measure it real quick. So it's a 7.5 millimeter crown, which is pretty big for a case of this size. Nice and grippy. It's kind of got this little nipple on the end of it there. I think it looks really cool. The finishing on it, very nice and crisp. Again, I mean, it's kind of what you expect from San Martin. Their finishing game is awesome. Even on a watch in this price range, you know, this is one of their cheaper models, and it looks great, and it still looks really, really good. Flipping it over to the case back, as you can see here, very simple circular brushing all over. It's got your simple notches to get a tool in there if you ever want to remove it. Bottom of the case also circular brushed. And yeah, I mean, everything is, it's not too sharp or anything like that. It's a very comfortable watch to wear. I've had no issues with comfort on this thing. So overall, with the case itself, I'm pretty happy with it. I love that coin edge bezel. I think it looks great. Now let's test it for sapphire. So here you can see it is positive for sapphire. And it's a very nice sapphire crystal. It is double domed, as you can see. It's picking up all sorts of reflection, but honestly, in real life, it's not as bad as it is on camera. I always say that. But you can see here, it is just a very slight dome. And because of that dome, it just kind of picks up more light than normal. Especially in a studio setting like this. It's not the best crystal to film, but it is a pretty decent crystal, I'd say. There's some blue inner reflective coating on it, which you can't really see, but it is there. It's very subtly blue, but yeah, it does a good job of keeping the dial pretty clear, in my opinion. And I've got no major complaints. It's not my favorite crystal, definitely. I kind of wish they would have put a top hat crystal on this thing instead of just a double dome like this, but it does keep the dial nice and clear even at extreme angles, as you can see there. And overall, it's not really a negative, but I wouldn't call it a highlight of the watch either. Okay, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. So the dial, really simple, and that's kind of what these dials are all about. These Flieger dials are supposed to be ultra legible, so there's nothing cluttering the dial at all. There's no branding. You can't even get this with the San Martin logo on it, so just keep that in mind. Some people like it, some people don't. I think on this type of dial, I do like it. I'm normally not a fan of sterile dials, but this one I actually do really like. It is a fully printed dial, as you can see here. And it's done nicely. I've got no issues with the crispness of the printing. It's done really good. You can see there is a slight mismatch in color. Honestly, I think you're kind of seeing the glow from the lume, because the lume on this watch is kind of crazy, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But the hands and the dial, they are mismatched just a little bit, and they kind of have a greenish hue to them. They're not a vintage lume, kind of that creamy tan color. It's more of a greenish white, like a really pale green color. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't really bother me. I do think just a stark white would look a little bit better. So if they threw like BGW9 on here, I think it would look a little nicer. Nicely sized hands. They might look a little short to you guys, but that's just because they're black surrounded. So I'm going to get up nice and tight here, and you can see the hand actually reaches all the way. There you go. The minute hand reaches all the way out to the minute track. The hour hand just touches the numerals there. Second hand sweeping around, perfect length in my opinion. It does have a nice counterbalance on it there, as you can see. They just look a little short when you're first looking at it, just because the lume stops a little short at the tips. So, but yeah, it does look really good. I think it's all proportioned nicely. The lume on this thing is absolutely bonkers. So I'm going to pop up a lume shot right now, and here you can see it against a couple other field watches in my collection. It absolutely destroys the Hamilton, and then the Addy's Dive Black Bay I think it does a pretty good job of hanging on with that thing. It lasts all night long. Very nice and even application, in my opinion. My only kind of real gripe is that the second hand is not loomed. Other than that, though, it's done really good, and I've got no real complaints with the lume on this thing. It's really good. All right, so let's talk about the movement on this thing. So the movement is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown, the screw in, screw out action, the grip on the crown. It's all just great, fantastic. Nice and big crown, perfect for my fat fingers, but I think it goes with the style of the watch. I think it looks really good. You get a nice satisfying pop out once it disengages from the threads. First position here, hand winds it. It's a pretty smooth hand winding. You can feel the gears in there, but it is really nice. It's kind of satisfying. It does give off a little bit of an audible tone. I don't know if you can hear it. But yeah, it's very satisfying. There's a ghost date position here, and I can hear it clicking around in the back there. Pull it out to the third position, it hacks the movement. And this is where you set your time. So this is the Epson YN55. This is a movement basically from an Orient. It's kind of Orient's answer for the NH35. So it's 21,600 beats per hour, about 40 hours of power reserve. It hacks, it hand winds. The stated accuracy of the movement, I don't have the numbers offhand, but I know they are a little bit more accurate than an NH35. This one has been very accurate for me, as you can see here. So I've been super happy with it. And the one nice thing about this movement is that, just like the NH35, it is a bi-directional winding rotor, so you don't get any rotor whirl. It's maybe a little bit more noisy than an NH35, but it's not a deal breaker at all. I've been pretty happy with it overall. Okay, so let's talk about the bracelet on this thing. So the bracelet is kind of your bog standard bracelet from San Martin, and that's a good thing. Very happy with it. You've got brushing on the tops of the lugs here, brushing on the sides here. You've got screw pins for adjusting. You've got female solid end links, as you can see there. The end link fitment is just, I mean, it's just spot on. Look at that. I mean, that looks so good. They just nailed the end link fitment on this thing. They fit very tight in the case. I am really happy with the end link fitment on this thing. Really happy with the bracelet in general. It doesn't flex too much or anything like that. Just your typical 3-link bracelet, fully solid links. So coming around to the clasp here, you see San Martin opted for the smaller clasp, and I think that's a good option. I do wish they'd add another micro adjust. I think they could probably fit one in there. But yeah, I think this was a good option just because it's a little bit of a lighter watch. If you put their bigger clasp on there, it might feel a little bottom heavy. So I'm kind of glad they went with this one. I do wish they would add another micro adjust there if they could. Maybe just extend this out another couple millimeters or something. But yeah, it is a really nice clasp, even if it is kind of tiny here. You've got your San Martin applied hex logo there, really nicely done. You got brushed on the top, brushed on the sides, pretty nice polished chamfer separating the two surfaces. Nice brushed buttons here, really solid action. I've got no problems with these clasps. They've been nicely rounded off on the edges, very comfortable. The inner bits here are fully milled, as you can see, and the tolerances are excellent. Very satisfying clasp. I've got no issues with it. I've never had an issue opening or closing it. Yeah, it's a great clasp. It's a great bracelet. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. It is just really nicely done. It does taper from 20 down to 16, and yeah, I mean it's nice. The only thing I really wish is they'd add another micro adjust. Outside of that, this is probably the best bracelet you're going to get in a watch in the roughly $150 range. So very happy with these bracelets. They're really nice. So there you go, guys. That is the San Martin SN0033. If you're interested in this watch or any of the SN030 range of watches, go check out the link down below. That is an affiliate link. Thank you guys so much for using my affiliate links. Thank you to San Martin for sending this watch in. I've always kind of wondered about their, I guess, more budget-friendly watches. This one comes in at $180 at full retail. You're going to get some discounts on these things. And yeah, this is a heck of a watch for about $150 if you can pick it up on sale. Very happy with it. Nice solid bracelet, really good case finishing, killer lume, excellent movement. I mean, what else do you really want? It's a great watch. I was really surprised by this. I thought they'd kind of maybe cut some corners here and there just to hit the price point, but they really haven't. The only real thing that I would change on this watch is maybe the crystal, just to do a bubble top or top hat crystal, I think it would help with the glare a little bit. But even this one, it's really not that bad. So yeah, been very happy with this watch. What do you guys think about it? You like the coin edge bezel? I'm kind of digging it. I do like it. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.